So I wanted to cover one of my favorite stories that's broke over the last week in my home state of Alabama in a place called Hanceville, which is about 40 miles north of Birmingham in Cullman County. So this is a town of 3,000 people, so a very small town. And it was previously best known as being one of the very first places in Alabama to pass anti-trans bathroom laws. So yay!
All right, ahead of the curve.
Yeah, in 2016 too, before it was cool.
Wow.
And it's also home to a Catholic monastery. So like, pretty boring place overall, but that said,
have never done anything wrong.
No.
So.
But it's kind of boring overall. But that said, the party was at the police department, folks, because in August of last year, and again, this happened at 11 a.m., a 49-year-old police dispatcher, Chris Willingham, was found dead of an overdose of muscle relaxers, benzodiazepine, meth, and fentanyl.
Jesus, that's a cocktail.
At 11 a.m. Because I read police dispatcher and then started looking into it. I was like thinking, I don't know, man. Maybe he's burning the candle at both ends. Nope. 11 a.m. Benzos, meth, muscle relaxers, and fentanyl at the same time.
You know what? He was getting them off the streets.
Well, they were already off the streets, as it turns out. By the way, I would love to hear the Wolf of Wall Street ass, Quaalude fucking scene police dispatcher just being like, the cat, sushi, he's fucked out of his mind. Just shoot the chocolate man. A grand jury's investigation later determined that Willingham had access to the police department's unsecured evidence room.
No, not a police officer going into the unsecured evidence room. This must be a first time that's ever happened.
So this is a quote from the indictment. The death of former Hanceville dispatcher Chris Willingham is the direct result of Hanceville Police Department's negligence, lack of procedure, general incompetence, and disregard for human life. You're not going to believe this, but next to the evidence room was a hole in the wall. So the evidence room.
Glory hole in the evidence room. Yeah, no wonder they're always in there.
They gained access to the drug buffet by reaching into this hole with a broomstick and jimmying open the door. And is there a surveillance photo? Yes. That's the hole in the wall. So you'll
they
see
removed one cinder block.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's so big that you'll notice this fat-ass cop.
He has his whole head in it.
What the fuck?
Who has Winnie the Pooh'd himself into this hole.
Yeah, that's a little strange.
And you can see he's got the broomstick under his arm, so literally he's just using it to open the door. This is incredible. So last week, the Cullman County Sheriff, Matt Gentry, arrested the entire police department. And one of the officer's spouses on charges of evidence tampering, computer fraud, and drug distribution charges. And the grand jury has recommended that the entire police department be immediately abolished, finding a rampant culture of corruption.
All right, all right.
Is that all it takes?
Yeah.
Is that all it takes to have them abolished?
I know.
Them all to be on meth and fentanyl and cocaine and every single thing they can get.
Oh, don't forget steroids.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
So is the evidence locker. They just do it when they need a tiny piece to throw somebody in jail. They're like, here's a couple Xanax and some weed. Throw them in.
Yeah, pretty much. And while that picture of him, as I said, Winnie the Poohing himself in the honey tree that is the evidence locker is funny. By far, the funniest part is, I'll show you the mug shots of everybody involved, just so you guys can kind of get a flavor of Hanceville, Alabama's law enforcement community, and we'll put this up right here so people can see it.
Eric Kelso, something's happened there.
Oh, yeah, you might have made note of Eric Kelso.
His eyes are way too close together.
They're too close together. His nose is kind of like a soft diagonal. And it seems like he has a lot of space on one side of his face and not the other. Could be the angle. He just has a small face on a gigantic fat guy's head.
Right. Yeah, and I believe that left eye is not real.
It looks like a Nintendo 64 character in GoldenEye.
Yeah, I was going to say it looks like a bad video game.
DK mode. Yeah,
I like his bangs though. Nice bangs.
Oh God, the Bama bangs, as we call those. Yeah, that's a thing. Shout out to my friend Sierra, who is a hairdresser who in the mid 2000s got on a one woman quest to eliminate Bama bangs by telling college guys like Justin Bieber's hair, and they would go no, give me a normal haircut.
So we got Cody Donna and Eric Kelso. One of those is the married couple.
Yeah, so Eric is married to Donna Kelso.
Handsome woman.
Cody Kelso, I believe it's his brother. Jason Marlin is the chief of police, or maybe it's Shell Nutt is the chief of police. And then Jason Wilbanks we'll talk about in a second here. But Eric Michael Kelso, so the guy with the crazy eye.
EMK is what his friends call him.
EMK. He is accused of selling, furnishing, giving away, or delivering Adderall and hydrocodone and anabolic steroids to Officer Wilbanks and, as I said, I think his brother Cody Kelso. And this is the part that is so funny to me. So while on duty, Cody Kelso and Wilbanks, they would get the steroids from Jimmy Two Eyes, and then they would go to Donna's office. I think she works at a hospital to get them injected. So these two cops were too fucking pussy to shoot steroids into their own asses. They had to rope Donna into this whole stupid fucking thing.
Donna wanted to be roped in.
Yeah.
I'm sure she did, but it's just funny. It's like they would drive to the hospital while on duty to get injected. I'm like, you fucking bitches.
They want to be hyped up to harass some trans people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, we're scanning bathrooms today, boys. We need to get fucking hopped up.
So Hanceville Mayor Jim Sawyer said Thursday in a statement that the Cullman County Sheriff's Department will be now taking over all law enforcement duties in Hanceville.
I'm sure nobody in Cullman has ever done anything like this before.
I know.
no,
There's no
heavens no.
corruption in this department.
No, not at all. This is the mayor's quote. It is unfortunate that the actions of a few have tarnished our city's good name. And speaking of the mayor, the former evidence custodian of Hanceville, that being the cop who's in charge of the evidence room, his name is Lowell Adam Hatter. He filed a lawsuit last year against the mayor, Jim Sawyer, and the city clerk, alleging that the mayor fired him after ignoring warnings of the chain of evidence being compromised.
Whistleblower gets fired.
So the whistleblower was like, they took out a brick and they're opening the door with a broom. And the mayor was like, stop snitching,
So
nerd.
that just means the mayor's in on it, too.
It's so fucking funny. And yeah, and I just like that somebody had to have been like, don't tell on us, you fucking dork.
What did they have covering the hole? Did they just
I feel like they were just sliding the brick in and out.
Yeah.
Knowing that, like, the cops were the only ones in the area.
Well, they have some boxes in front of it, so I wonder if they just stacked up some cardboard.
They got some boxes, and you will note that there is a sign that says no fishing.
It looks about exactly the size.
I was like, oh, please tell me it's a no fishing sign over the buffet of
where
drugs.
you fish into the drug den.
Get the drugs out of. Yeah. So, yeah, this guy's he's getting sued by the one person who was like, this seems fucked. So they fired him. And so Hatter worked in his role for 10 years until he was terminated last April. In a lawsuit filed in August, he claimed that he was wrongfully terminated and forced to leave without adequately securing the evidence room at the Hanceville Police Department. So the mayor's like, please step down. He was like, I will step down. I need to secure all the evidence and file it. And he was like, you don't need to do that. And just took his key and like fucking left.
Wow.
And kicked the guy out of the building. So that's what he was suing for. Fucking
You just
hilarious.
don't expect this from police departments,
No,
Oh, my
no.
goodness.
Hatter states that during a heated meeting with the mayor, police chief, and the city clerk on April 8th, he was told the mayor that he must resign. So the DA of Cullman County, Champ Crocker,
Oh, yeah.
it's short for championship. Champ Crocker says, quote, as far as pending cases go, if evidence has been tampered with, it is now completely unusable. And we think it's possible that cases are going to have to be dismissed.
Of course they are.
Yeah,
This is one of those things where, like, every case on every crime has to be dismissed.
Yeah.
The cops are all liars.
Right.
They got caught lying about this evidence. Why would they not lie about every single thing?
Yeah.
I want to shout out every meth head in Cullman County who's about to walk away fucking clean as a whistle, baby.
Get you even a low quality defense attorney, and they should be able to get you off. And you don't even got to pay the big bucks for this one.
The person just has to point to the hole.
I was going to say, come on. Just print off on your home printer a picture of the hole in the wall and this big fat ass cop with his head stuck
And you
in
can
it.
be like,
come on.
would you trust these people? Said I was going 15 over. They're all high on crack.
And meth and muscle relaxers and steroids and fucking fentanyl.
And look how close this guy's eyes are together. That's weird.
He does look like he almost has the meth face, the weird scrunched up meth face, but and maybe this is a thing where he's been taking steroids and not working out.
Yeah, it's definitely got the steroid face separation.
Because he has like a really big jawline that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
His face is sort of.
So yeah, he might have just been taking the steroids and not pumping iron.
Right, and like looking at him like, why aren't I getting jacked? I'm just getting like weird looking. Yeah, you still got to work out there, Eric.
And then his brother, meanwhile, he's got the big ass steroid neck, I think. So.
I feel like that Cody Kelso talks about his boat a lot. You know?
Oh, yeah,
Like,
definitely.
Loves his boat.
Yeah. Also, in other Hanceville mayor news, as it turns out, the previous mayor of Hanceville, Kenneth Nail, had to resign in December of 2023 when he pled guilty to 15 misdemeanor counts of using jail inmates as slaves for his private labor tasks at his home and various properties.
So this town of 3,000 people, like we at least know 11
That's not
of them.
funny, Rivers. Don't laugh.
I think it's pretty funny that the last mayor, it's like, why are you the mayor right now? It's like, oh, the last one was doing slavery. Oh, okay. That's probably a good reason. Yeah. Because while the big ass loophole in the 13th Amendment is like no slavery unless they're, incarcerated.
Yeah.
The deal with that is you got to be doing community service.
Also, they'll completely make up a lie to get you in prison.
Oh, 100%.
Literally, look at this to make you a slave.
Yes, 100%. But in this case, he was just like, all right, boys, get in the back. And then he was taking them to his, doing yard work. And they said he had some of the inmates doing, electrical work on a trailer he owned. And I was like, did you just... you just waited till an electrician got drunk to pull him
This
over.
is like Shawshank Redemption. It hasn't been enough years yet, but they're like, I'm going to electrocute this motherfucker one day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Run off.
So he was ordered to pay $4,000 in restitution, fined $2,500 and sentenced to community service. So
So seems
Did he serve the community?
Yeah.
Picked up some garbage or...
the next mayor took him to scrub down the outside of his boat. Watch out for barracudas. I don't know. That's the situation in Hanceville.
If you want to break the law, win an election.
Hell
That's
yeah.
all I can tell you at this point.
hey, look
yes.
at that! Look at that president of ours.
Yeah.
I mean, am I right? I want to get political here.
Hey,
I just literally at any level.
yeah.
You could be how many people live in this town?
3,000.
You can go corrupt the whole town. Whole goddamn guy. Corrupt the whole goddamn town.
Yeah,
I just like that's the entire police department got arrested. It's so goddamn funny.
yeah. Well, crime is now legal in Hanceville because that entire police department.
And we should look up the record of the sheriff department that's taken over.
Yeah, Cullman County Sheriff's.
not going to be pretty.
I'm also sure the methods are 8 less police officers in town.
Well, the methods are like, who's going to give us our meth?
Yeah.
Yeah, where am I going to buy all this meth from now?
Yeah, that's true. They were selling it. Fuck.
Yeah.
Also, buy your drugs from cops. The best way to not get arrested for drugs.
Perfect circle, perfect loop. Yeah. Yeah. It seemed like they were just giving the drugs to each other, but they were also doing that. Yeah. And shout out to several people sent me this. As soon as you saw, as soon as as soon as you see that mugshot, it's I got to talk about whatever the fuck this is. So
Yeah, what did he do? We need to talk about him.
shout out to Dami. But here's the horrifying thing is that I kind of think this story doesn't go national if this guy didn't look like one of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family members.
You think it's him? You think
a
it's
star.
him doing it? I mean, this is
This would have been a local story, but this was on ABC, this was on CNN, and
I mean, this is big news. An entire town's police department that's pretty big news.
yeah, but
I don't think they're just plastering the weird guy's face up like, you got to see what this motherfucker did.
I don't know. I kind of think it doesn't go all the way national.
If you looked at this guy's picture and had to guess what he got arrested for, you would never get it right in a million years.
No.
He was a cop?
What?
You would think it was drunk driving or fucking domestic violence or something.
Yeah,
This is fucking a whole new level.
No, it wasn't domestic violence. I love my hospital wife who shoots my brother's ass up with steroids. I love her.
And we all do pills together.
And then we all get fucked up on everything at 11 a.m. Oh, my God. Shout out to AL.com. That's where I pulled that from. And the Fox station out of Huntsville and ABC. Because, like I said, if we don't got this beautiful face, I don't know. I don't know if the nation knows about this. But, yeah. And shout out to Dami for sending that to me and everybody else.